Anglers Extra.
Welcome back to the Anglers Extra pregame show. Josh Schaefer alongside Anglers manager Tom Holliday for today's manager show as the A's hit the road once again to battle the Wareham Gatemen. Coach, thanks so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
So, 0-3.
Different, huh?
What?
Different line.
Yeah, a little bit different. Wanted to mix it up. We'll see how the end of this goes, too.
Okay. All right,
you try to give me a word at the end to throw it back to Coop?
I will.
Okay. 0-3 after off days this season, and you told our very own Peter Warren that you guys play a lot better when you play every single day. How does that really translate to your play on the field?
You know, I'm not real sure yet. We're still trying to figure that out. And again, I know that the kids aren't out fooling around, so that doesn't enter my thought process. Sometimes I think you try harder and you feel better, and I think at home our kids are trying harder and playing worse. You know, we're not playing as good at home as we do on the road. That's just an oddity, and I don't even want to let that enter into my psyche because it's way too early in the season. But you know, it's one of those things. We know we have a long stretch of games. We got another day off tomorrow, but at least we're at home. So we're going to practice tomorrow instead of taking a day off.
Kind of an interesting lineup that you see today, and last night with the tough loss to the Falmouth Commodores. What was there to take away from that, and how did that translate into you structuring today's batting order?
Well, a couple guys are really struggling, and you know, I don't want anybody to crash and burn while they're here, but we have some guys on some really ugly streaks, like 13, 14 strikeouts and 19 at bats. That's not healthy. And a couple of guys that have got here have played 4 or 5 times, and they just haven't found it yet. So I'm going to go back, you know, and try to work the guys that got here early, that got the wooden bat in their hands. And real soon, I'm going to stop trying to platoon, you know, play the lefties against righties and righties against lefties, and try to settle in on a little bit more of a regular basis lineup, and then just use the bench for what it is. It'll be the bench.
You lose your home run leader in Spencer Torkelson. He's also your RBI leader, and at the time was the team's leader in batting average. And then yesterday's game, like I said, kind of a weird one. What positives were there to take away offensively in Spencer Torkelson's first game out of the lineup?
Well, again, offensively, I thought Greg Jones put on a show on how to play baseball. You know, he beats out 2 infield ground balls like a guy that's trying to show his talent off, and played hard. And I wanted to rest him, and I can't because he's that good a player right now. And, you know, we had a couple other guys. I thought McCann finally, you know, stepped up in a big moment and got a big base hit. And, you know, we had base hits last night. We just didn't do anything. The second and third with nobody out, that was disturbing because we've been talking about contact, you know, to get him in. And we hit a ground ball right at the shortstop, so you don't want to run into an out. And then the next guy strikes out, which, again, you know, we're talking about 2-strike adjustment, put the ball in play, get the RBI home, and he didn't. And we walk away from a chance to be 3-0 going into the 9th instead of 1-0. So the goods, I mean, he had 10 hits, you know, but we didn't hit at the right time. But I thought our 2 kids I thought all 3 of our guys on the mound pitched well. And, you know, Belge didn't have his great stuff, but he put up zeros. Hurt was awesome. That was big league stuff last night out of Hurt. And I even thought Velez threw really good. That home run at the end went 315 feet inside the right field foul pole. I'm not sure that the hitter knew where it went when he hit it. And the way the wind was blowing, should have blown it foul. But when you get beat like that, it's about like having a fatal heart attack. And it's hard to bounce back, and it's hard to swallow. But we came right back in the 9th inning, and we had a chance to win the game in the last out. So, you know, short memory. Get it out of your memory bank and get ready to play tonight.
You mentioned a big league outing from Kyle Hurt. Well, his last outing was here at Spillane Field. And now, speaking of familiar pitchers, Wareham throwing Joey Matulovic, a guy that you have seen before here with the Chatham A's, and a team that you've seen before. How do you adjust to a team that you've fallen to twice so far?
You know, quite frankly, after last night, you go home and you sit there and replay the game in your mind, beat yourself up for maybe not doing this or not doing that, and then you go to bed and you don't even know who you're playing the next day. You know, we get on the bus and we know we're coming down here, and you know, whose ever turn it is to pitch is pitching. I don't know a whole lot about this guy. I mean, we've seen him a little bit, Might help us, might not. I mean, I don't even know who played against him last time. We're not into that far of evaluating lineups and stuff. We're going to start breaking that down. We want to get our whole team here before we start using the analytics. So right now we want them to relax and play good baseball and give me their best effort. All I want is best effort. You know, if I see somebody dragging and not running out a fly ball or something like that, I'm going to start taking them out. I don't like embarrassing baseball players, but don't ever cheat the game. The game has done nothing. The game gives you a vehicle to make a living, and as long as kids give me 100%, you know, whatever happens, happens.
Coach, thanks so much for joining us. Good luck today against the Gatemen.
You got it.
Cooper Boardman always gives his 100% best effort. Let's go back to him as the Anglers Extra pregame show continues.